Scheduled public meeting of June 7th, 2023, the Township of Washington Township Council. Adequate notice of the meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by the Township Clerk to at least 2 newspapers in January, and this meeting has been posted on the Township Bulletin Board, electronic message board, WCTV, and on the Township website. Please notify the municipal clerk for any disability requirements necessary for attendance at mayor and council meetings. The fire exits are located through the double doors to your right and through the door on your left. Please silence all cell phones. Salute to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so roll call, please.
Councilman Casio. Councilwoman Feeney.
Here.
Councilman Sears.
Here.
Councilwoman Velez.
Here.
Council President Morgan.
Here. Let the record reflect also in attendance Mayor Calamari, Township Administrator DeCarlo, Township Attorney Poller, Township Clerk Witkowski, and on Zoom, John Corcoran, CFO. Tonight's PSA, air quality alert. Due to smoke conditions stemming from the ongoing wildfires in Canada, the Bergen County Health Department strongly advises all individuals to remain indoor and limit outdoor activity until further notice. As a result, the mayor has closed all fields until further notice. New community alert system. Receive community information instantly. Sign up at nixle.com, NIXLE.com. Please visit our website for new office hours at Town Hall. We remind residents to please pick up after your pet. It is the law. Township Code 137-19. Scoop it, bag it, and put it in the trash. Cameras have been installed in our parks. As a friendly reminder, dumping of household waste in our park trash cans is in direct violation of Township Ordinance 373-89. Violators will be fined. Please keep our parks and neighborhood clean. The New Jersey Transit bus route previously traveled through the intersection has resumed. Please visit our website for more information. Veolia has informed the township that on or about June 12th, they will be replacing water mains on Hoover Avenue from Curtis Place to Jackson Avenue, the entire lengths of Curtis Place and Jacob Road. Notices will go out to residents from Veolia prior to the actual work to alert them of any water disruption, etc. Family-friendly summer concert featuring modern country band Big Hicks will be held on Friday, June 16th at Memorial Field. Gates open at 6:30 p.m., showtime 7:30 p.m. Parking will be available at Bethany Community Center. 80/20, Smashburger, and Kona Ice will be on site selling food and ices. The Township of Washington Ambulance Corps is looking for volunteers. If you can volunteer, please call WTVAC headquarters at 201-664-3784. Leave a message and either President Bob Ehlers or Captain Trevor Landau will return your call. We have a scheduling conflict with the next council meeting, so the council meeting on Wednesday, June 21st will be canceled and rescheduled.
Council President, could
Yes.
you skip the VFW?
I don't have it here.
May I read it for you?
Absolutely.
Thank
No,
you.
it's a different one.
Coming soon to the public library, VFW Post 6192 has donated monies to the purchase and install of a American flag deposit box. Watching for future updates. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
I'm so sorry. I didn't have
No,
an
that's
online
fine.
copy.
No, that's okay.
It's okay. I got an updated one to include the air quality alert and somehow it fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get pushed down.
Yes, it's very important. I apologize.
No need to.
Okay. Approval of minutes, February 21st, 2023. Motion to approve public meeting and conference meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. March 6, 2023. Motion to approve public meeting and conference meeting.
So moved. Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Okay, and we have a mayor appointment.
Thank you. Good evening, Council President and members of the council. Please be advised that I am respectfully submitting the following citizen for the position set forth below, subject to your advice and consent. For Director of Finance, John Corcoran, filling the unexpired term that does expire December 31st, 2025.
Okay. Resolution of consent to director, resolution number 23-238, appointment of Director of Finance, John Corcoran, CMFO. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
That's an old one. Old one. Councilwoman Velez?
Yes. 2 for 2.
And Council President Morgan?
Yes.
That order's going in.
I'm telling you.
Mr. DeCarlo, do we have a report?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening to everyone. This is my resident and council questions, concerns response from township meeting May 15th. First was Nicole Grunberg. She expressed her concern at the intersection of Pascack Road and Manhattan Avenue regarding the crosswalk, lack of paint markings, lack of signs, time in the control device, speeding, and other traffic-related offenses. Nicole completed the resident contact information form, and it was sent to Chief Skinner for follow-up. Councilman Casio also requested that we look into the timing of the crosswalk. Mr. Ferrara, concerns with parking on Cleveland Avenue during Little League season. Concerns has been brought to the attention of our Recreation Coordinator, Dan Scudieri, and Police Chief Richard Skinner. Mr. Ferrara also asked a question regarding the budget on sheet 3B, parentheses 2, group insurance and the amounts reflected that were inside and outside the 2% cap. I answered his question via email, and he had additional questions that I passed on to Alex Barice, our financial advisor. Since then, Mr. Ferrara was updated on his answer to that question. Mr. Ullman had several concerns. The damaged roadway on Van Emberg near Viviano property. The township was already aware of the damage. The police department created a police report and took pictures of the damage. Engineer Paul Azzolina has already notified the company and required the repair. The report and pictures have been provided to council. Since then, I know the county road superintendent has been made aware of this, and to make the repairs, they're going to have to deal with the county. Officer extra duty rate for the intersection project is based on the officer's overtime rate. The expense was paid by the township if it related to the intersection project contract with New Prince Construction. If the vendor was PSE&G, Veolia, or Verizon, that company paid the expense of the overtime for the officer. Additional concern, JCT Solutions performed work at the Emergency Services Building in 2022. Mr. Ullman believes that the pricing was given under the Hunterdon County Co-op, and the township is not a member of this co-op. The pricing was in fact provided under Union County Co-op contractor number 8-UCCP 24-2021. Our qualified purchasing agent confirmed that the township belongs to both Hunterdon and Union County Co-ops. Please see the attachments which I provided to council. Mrs. Grimaldi had concerns of work being performed at the Viviano property on Van Emberg Avenue. Engineer Paul Azzolina very quickly provided his response in an email, which was sent to Ms. Grimaldi and council. The brief summary of the work being performed is a geotechnical investigation, and will be digging 2 test pits at the location for the proposed retention basin. There is nothing hazardous or concerning. The council had general requests for the attendance of our financial advisor at the May 22, 2023 budget adoption meeting. And as you saw, he was there. And updates, the trees have been planted at Clark Field. Plants have been planted on Finnerty Place. The paving and striping has been completed at the ESB, and the intersection has been paved and striped. And additionally, I updated the council that our latest auction yielded a little over $21,000 in revenue of the stuff that we were able to get rid of that was no longer needed or valuable to the township. And Council President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, do you have a report?
I do, yes. Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. After reviewing the advice from both the Bergen County Health Officer and Northwest Bergen Regional Health Commission regarding the smoke condition being generated from the Canadian wildfires, I have decided to close our parks and fields until further notice. The New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection has issued a code orange air quality alert. This means that poor air quality could impact individuals with asthma, heart conditions, the elderly, and youth. Considering that, both agencies have recommended that communities curtail outdoor activities, especially for the groups listed above. Please keep doors and windows closed, utilize air purifiers if available, and seek medical attention if experiencing breathing difficulties or related symptoms. We'll continue to monitor the situation and will reopen the facilities as soon as possible. Police Department news. The department participated in fentanyl awareness to include Coffee with a Cop and an opioid presentation by the DEA. On May 25th, they also participated in Police Memorial Day at the Bergen County Police Academy and in the town annual Memorial Day Parade. Recreation news. The Fun with Art program has completed its second season. The participants had a great time. Instructors have received positive feedback from the parents. The 2023 summer camp registration has over 500 participants this year. The 2023 Introduction to Cheer program is still open. There will be a maximum of 60 registrants for the program. Please visit the Township of Washington's website for further details. If you would like to volunteer to help with any of these programs, please contact Dan Scudieri for more details. Fire Department news. Happily, the department had a slow month as far as calls for service go last month. They responded as part of mutual aid to Hillsdale for a working house fire, and they responded to the Parkway as a precaution for a vehicle crash in the wooded area. They also held their annual Memorial Day service and participated in the parade. It is always an honor for me to be invited to and participate in their Memorial Day service. New emergency services building news. The parking lot on the fire department side of the building has now been paved. That now allows for enough parking at the site to enable the ambulance corps to operate out of the facility. Again, I greatly appreciate the patience they showed in dealing with the delays that prevented them from operating from the site sooner. DPW news. Grass and yard debris continue to be collected weekly. Household bulk debris is being collected this week. The next metal collection is June 15th. Mulch and flowers have been placed at all town parks and fields. Additional plantings have taken place on Finnerty Place. Stormwater outfalls are being inspected. As always, they assisted with the Memorial Day activities before, during, and after the events. They have been also assisting the Green Team with their many spring projects underway. Intersection news. If you have not had a chance to drive through the intersection of Pascack Road and Washington Ave, I invite you to do so. We successfully worked with the county to get this long-awaited project completed. The changes made have also revised outdated driving rules and brought about many improvements in moving traffic through the intersection. In time, I am confident traffic studies will show this state-of-the-art design was a much-needed upgrade for our community. Also, as of June 1st, the number 47 bus line has resumed its usual route through the township. Please go to coachusa.com to check their current schedule. Library news. On July 2nd, the library hosted a viewing of The Little Mermaid at the Township Theater. The summer reading kickoff party is just around the bend on June 23rd. The library has a fun-filled summer of programs and events for all ages, so please check the newsletter and website for the complete catalog. Save the date. Friends of the Library Wine Tasting Fundraiser is coming up on Saturday, July 22nd, featuring food and wine by Stu Leonard's and music provided by the Chelsea. A wonderful time for anyone over the age of 21. More details to come soon. Municipal Alliance news. DEA agent Richard Gosflett did a great presentation on fentanyl and will be doing a teen version at the high school over the next few weeks. Another DEA agent will be interviewed on WCTV. Stay tuned for the dates from WCTV. Our second year of Safety Township will take place this July. The Municipal Alliance and WT Police Department are proud to present this great program for our residents aged 5 and 6 years old. The program allows them to meet and learn from our local police department, fire department, ambulance corps, and this year they are adding a bike safety segment with Easy Ride. The program is completely free, but does require registration. Registration opened on the Municipal Alliance and WTPD Facebook pages on Monday, June 5th. The program runs on Saturdays, July 8th through the 28th, from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Grants. We have applied for a grant from the Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund to get some of the money we pay into the fund via our tax dollars back for our town to purchase 450 Pascack Road. This is the same grant we applied for and received about half the purchase price for the swim club property. Recreation Advisory Board. The Rec Advisory Board continues to collaborate with members of Boswell Engineering to produce the best usage for the former swim club property to recommend to the residents and the council. I would now like to read a letter submitted to the governing body from the town auditor that clarifies incorrect information put out by Councilman Cascio. This letter is dated May 17, 2023. It's to the governing body. Dear governing body, I have been following the township, mayor, council meetings to stay informed of any discussions the council has regarding the 2023 proposals for township auditor. During last week's meeting, statements were made during the public discussion that questioned the independence of Lurch Vinci Bliss LLP. Furthermore, comments were made that LVB is auditing their own work. I believe there is some confusion in regards to the role an auditor or registered municipal accountant has in a local municipality. I would like to respond to those statements and try to clarify the role LVB performs as township auditor. LVB does not maintain any ledgers on behalf of the township, nor do we record any entries in the township's accounting system. Professional standards preclude us from recording any entries in your accounting system while serving as the independent auditor. The township's chief financial officer and his finance staff maintain all bank accounts, revenue and budget appropriation records, and the general ledgers for all funds. The finance staff also records all day-to-day transactions in the township's accounting system. One of the professional services that we render on the township's behalf is the completion of the year-end unaudited financial statement. The AFS is a statutory document created by the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services that authorizes the local chief financial officer or the statutory auditor to prepare and certify the document. The AFS is prepared utilizing the various ledgers, reports, and records maintained by the township staff. Subsequent to the filing of the AFS, LVB will perform the annual audit of the township's financial records. The annual audit includes, but is not limited to, the tax office, finance department, payroll, procurement, and the various municipal departments of the township. Should we recommend to the CFO any journal entries adjusting year-end general ledger balances, we will discuss the reasons for proposing the entry. The CFO can either agree or disagree with our recommendation and is responsible for reviewing and approving the journal entries. At the conclusion of the audit, we will have an exit conference with the township administrator and CFO to review the financial statements and any audit findings and recommendations that we will be including in the audit report. We have occasionally been asked to attend a council meeting to discuss the AFS and/or the audit report. LVB is a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and since we provide auditing services, we are required to implement and maintain quality control standards to ensure that the services that we render are competently performed and adequately supervised. In addition, the AICPA requires that our work complies with professional standards, code of conduct, and respective legal and regulatory requirements. The AICPA also requires that we have an external quality control review every 3 years to ensure that we have adhered to all professional, technical, and quality control standards. This process is called a peer review. LVB must contract with an independent firm to perform the peer review. The independent firm will select audit engagements and test our procedures, review our work papers, files, and records pertaining to them. At the conclusion of the peer review, the independent firm will issue a report to the New Jersey State Society of CPAs for their review and subsequent approval to the New Jersey Board of Accountancy. Our firm was formed in 1990, and since that year, we have successfully received a peer review rating of pass. The reports received to date have not referenced any deficiencies noted. Our latest peer review report is on file with the Township Clerk. I hope this letter addresses the Township Council questions and concerns. We take great pride in working with the Township of Washington and welcome the opportunity to continue our professional relationship with the governing body and your management and finance team. Respectfully submitted, Gary Vinci. This practice should and must end. Saying things like, "I would like a different set of eyes" is one thing, as that is an opinion which we are all entitled to. In this situation, using words like running your books, also auditing the books, conflict of interest, same auditor that is doing the accounting, checking their own work, are clearly not true based on the auditor's explanation. When we speak from the dais, we need to be clear when we are stating facts and when we are stating opinions. The misstatement and misrepresentation of facts from officials on the dais, either intentional or otherwise, is harmful on every level. It could also place the town in a position to defend itself in a lawsuit caused by misinformation, as it can unjustifiably damage otherwise impeccable professionals and their reputations. Such lawsuits cost the taxpayers money that could otherwise benefit them. I therefore respectfully request that as elected officials, we hold ourselves to the highest possible standards by doing research and educating ourselves regarding topics and issues we are entrusted with. It is critical to ensure no additional false information is disseminated from the dais. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Okay, report of council. Councilwoman Feeney?
Thank you. The only thing I have tonight is, well, first I want to say I hope everybody stays safe with the air quality. I know that my daughter's school is closed for tomorrow because of the air quality, and all activities and outdoor events are canceled, which I think is the right decision. So thank you to the mayor and the administrator for taking action, and Mr. Scuderi also. If you need help or anything, please reach out to the council. They can assist if you have any issues. Are we opening maybe the cooling center in case somebody doesn't have air conditioning?
Let me say the cooling center is always open per se. If a senior or anyone needs it, they just have to check in with the police beforehand.
Great. Okay, so that's a good option. I am working on putting together for 4th of July a senior meal delivery. The plan is it's going to be a roast beef sandwich, 2 salads from Shriver's Deli, maybe some cookies. I'm going to be sending an email out to some of the current volunteers, but if anybody else would like to volunteer, please send me an email. I will need help that weekend. I think because it's 4th of July week and weekend, we're not going to have as many volunteers as we usually do. So I also have already ordered some American flags to stick in with the meal so people can put them in their lawns or their flower pots, and maybe a few other things for the seniors. So anybody who'd like to help, again, we're going to do a roast beef sandwich lunch. I think it's potato chips, roast beef sandwich, either macaroni salad and coleslaw or something along those lines. It's going to be from Shriver's Deli. If residents would like to donate, I'm going to be setting up a Venmo account to take donations, and I'll be putting that on the flyer, which hopefully will be released by this weekend. I believe it's going to be $15 per lunch. So again, it's probably going to be delivered the weekend of July 4th, not July 4th, because I don't want to put that expectation on anybody. So let me know. My contact information is on the website. And looking forward to a good start of the summer also.
Thank you. Okay, Councilman Sears?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to notify the Green Team members and volunteers that our June 10th project over the brook, we are canceling it due to the mayor's alert and the fog. It is Saturday, but better to be on the safe side. And we scheduled it for June the 17th, which is the following week. Would be the same time, same location at the brook by the bridge. I want to thank the residents from coming out to Memorial Day. It was really nice to see the residents participating in that event. I can speak for the VFW members. We were really honored that most of them stood for the event, and I want to thank the residents for that. Under the Green Team, Clark Field, we planted 18 trees. We replaced one dead cherry tree, and we are basically done with that park. There is one tree that I have to talk to the administrator about. It's by the children's area. It's dead, and maybe we can go over there and take a look at it.
DPW had two different companies out there to get it going on.
Well, I knew that because I just wanted to make you look good.
Well done.
Well done.
Goals.
Okay, the Green Team associated with the library, we started a CSA program that is to support a farm. You have a opportunity to get 4 types of boxes of fresh fruits, vegetables, whatever being during the season at that time. So we were looking for 15 members. We got 30.
Wow.
It's dropped off every Tuesday at the library, and the Green Team members make sure we hand it out to all the residents that show up. I was notified by the farm that he does have a couple more openings. If you want to, I see a hand there. If you want to join, reach out to Dina Burke. She is the assistant, or you can reach out to the library.
Dina, can you see me?
Okay, we just had a delivery yesterday, and I can tell you, fresh lettuce, fresh bok choy. It was amazing, the taste of the thing. So that will be for 52 weeks, not 52 weeks. It started in July, it'll end after November. So every Tuesday, the farm will deliver a box of whatever in season. You can choose for a single person to a family of 4. And it was amazing. The fruit and vegetables were delicious. So we do have a couple more openings, and just reach out and we'll be happy to
I have a question.
join us. Go ahead.
How's it being advertised other than word of mouth just here? Was
Well-
it good attendance? Like people?
It actually, we did have it on the Green Team webpage.
Okay.
I think we had it on the town webpage. We had it posted down at the track meet. So word of mouth, and it like exploded. We were only, and there were actually 72 people that signed up for it. So,
Great.
you know,
Okay, good.
but thank you, Council President. That's all I have.
No problem. That's great.
Mhm.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes, thank you. On May 13th, I attended an Office of Emergency Management training course for senior officials. Its purpose was to help elected officials understand their role in supporting incident management should we have a situation here in Township or nearby. I found the course to be quite informative to help us understand what having a unified public information plan is. And I look forward to attending more courses in the future. There's a whole list of them. So if any of the members of council are interested, I'd love to attend some with you as well. It's a good way to come together and understand what happens behind the scenes during an emergency. Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony. Thank you to all those who participated and attended the parade and ceremony. Due to the extended a very extended long weekend. The committee was a bit unsure what the participation would look like, so we were really pleasantly surprised at the turnout, not only from those marching in the parade, but also those that were on the sidelines cheering us on, waving to our veterans. So thank you to all who attended. A big thank you to VFW Post 6192 and our community veterans for your involvement on Memorial Day, as well as your service to our country, both past and present. We know there are more veterans out there, and I encourage you to reach out to the Post and let yourself be known and recognized in our community. As Council President Morgan said, the summer concert is taking place on Friday, June 16th. This is a family-friendly summer concert. The town will be hosting Big Hicks, a modern country tribute band at Memorial Field. The gates open at 6:30 p.m. Showtime is at 7:30, and parking will be available at Bethany Community Center. 80/20 Smash will be on site selling their famous smash burgers. I know those are a fan favorite. And also in attendance will be Kona Ice, who will be serving up some refreshing ices. We hope to see you there, and don't forget your cowboy hats. I know, I made sure I ordered mine already, so don't forget your cowboy hats. And then if you just bear with me, I just have a little statement I wanted to share with the community. On April 23rd, 2019, I took an oath to serve the residents of Township as Director of Public Affairs. The Public Affairs Department at that time only offered 5 events to our residents. When discussing the position with Mayor Calamari, I made it clear that I wanted to offer more community events to our residents and needed his unwavering support to make it happen. And that's exactly what I got from him, 100% support. He has literally been on every single committee. Thank you. Together, we have added 10 additional events with a total of 15 events, and that's with COVID impacting our lives. When everything shut down, Township kept going, and that was made possible because of the amazing support of Mayor Calamari and the extraordinary core public affair volunteers. I have been blessed to have you by my side these last 4 years. So, as of July 1st, I will be resigning from the director position. It was a decision I've been entertaining for some time as I've put some personal goals on the back burner. However, I couldn't leave without accomplishing one of my biggest goals for the Public Affairs Department, and that was bringing a 5K to our community. There may have been 5Ks in the past, but none were ever Township hosted, and I'm happy to report it was such a successful, goal-crushing event. I have enjoyed this position so much, and it has been a pleasure meeting so many of our wonderful residents. From Resident Appreciation Weekend to Town Day to Halloween home decorating and everything in between, it's been a great ride. I want to thank all the volunteers who gave of their time these last 4 years to make these events possible. The DPW for always being the muscle behind the scenes with smiles on their faces. The police department, the fire department, the ambulance corps for always giving of their time to partake in our events and keeping us safe. WCTV for recording the memories, and especially to the residents of Township for attending the events. To all our sponsors along the years, thank you for helping us get these events off the ground. It has been a wonderful experience meeting and sharing the good times with you all. And last but not least, to my kids, whose catchphrase became "Mommy's in a meeting," week after week, month after month. Thank you for your support and understanding of my love for community service. It has been an honor serving the residents of Washington Township. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity and the trust you put in me. I may not be a director, but you know you can still count on me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Velez, for your service to the community. And I just wanted to ask, will you be serving in any capacity for
Well,
Public affairs?
volunteers
You'll be a
never go
volunteer
away.
now?
I will have to put energy elsewhere, but volunteer it doesn't go away.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your,
I'm sorry to see you go.
your service for 4 years. I appreciate it.
It's been amazing. Thank you.
You've done an amazing job. We couldn't have gotten this town to the event status that we are. And now other towns and other people come to our events. So I think that's a testament to your efforts and your team's efforts. So thank you.
Yeah, the volunteers, I can't say enough for our core volunteers. And Councilman Sears has been one of those, so thank you.
You did it.
We did it.
Do we have someone in line for Director of Public Affairs?
I will leave that up to the mayor.
Okay, so it's not like somebody's coming up and.
May I suggest Mark DeCarlo?
No, you may not.
I second.
Oh, that's funny. All in favor?
Aye.
I think I just saw him jump out the door over there.
And
All right.
Desiree, I'd just like to add, yeah, it was with deep regret that I accepted Daisy's resignation from the position. I enjoyed working with her as director in this position for the 4 years. We worked very well together. And, you know, it was easy to support what you wanted to do because it was always great ideas. And like that, you'll be a tough act to follow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I still have goat yoga on my radar. So
All right. Speaking of
We can
tough
add it
act
to
to
compost.
follow, now I have to give my update and it's pale in comparison. So, all right, I'm going to try this. All right, so onto less somber news. We had the committee for traffic flow meeting. It was well attended. I think I gave that at the last update, and the follow-up, and Mr. Mayor, you can chime in if you'd like, but the follow-up will be between Mr. Yakimic and Chief Skinner. They're going to be meeting with the BOE leadership, and then you guys will keep us all apprised of the conversation, and then we'll circle back to the table at a later date.
That's all correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's one area I wanted to talk about. Also, I greatly appreciate the fentanyl presentations. Being in the field, I'm going to tell you it's happening younger and younger. So if you think your child's too young to hear about it, there are so many different ways to have this discussion, without it being so terrifying. Just education and awareness is pivotal in addressing these situations. I'm going to just ask that we really stay on top of this with routine presentations aimed at the most current trends and names and slangs and terms that these drugs are called. I think parents have a lot of research that we have to do to just stay relevant and on top of what our kids are talking about. I can tell you that because I am in the field, I think that I know what I'm talking about, but then I hear something and it's just, they could get it right by me. I would have no idea what they were referring to. So I think we as a community need to make sure that we continue routinely, not yearly, but routinely educating parents, our children. And I love that it's going to the high school right now, but I definitely think, they're never too young to hear it. So start even earlier to just stay on top of this. It's not, this pandemic for the fentanyl is not going anywhere. On happier news, Intro to Cheer program is exploding, basically. I just checked on the numbers, and we have currently 50 registrants. Once we hit 60, we close. It goes on to a wait list. So it's 60 registrants or July 1st, whichever comes first. That's when the sign up for registration stops. If we hit 60 prior to July 1st, a wait list will be created and it will close on July 1st. So that's how that will work. It's big. It's very, very big. I have wonderful volunteers reaching out, these 7th and 8th graders, and then a lot of 9th graders, children who've been coaching from the conception when we initially dreamt this idea up. Those first coaches are still coming back, and they understand it's a volunteer position. They could easily be coaching for the 3rd through 8th grade and getting paid for it, but they prefer to come back and volunteer, and it's for nothing but the love of volunteering and working with these kids. So we have a lot of young volunteers. I will say for the adults, I'm going to ask if you are interested, please reach out to Dan Scuderi as soon as possible. If you would like to reach out to me, and I can kind of be that conduit to him. There is some background checks that need to happen and IDs that need to be created before our first practice. So please do that sooner rather than later. And again, I encourage you to sign your child up as soon as possible. And that is all I have for my report. Okay. So we'll move to the general public comment. To participate in the general public comment portion of the meeting, please click on the link below to join the webinar. If by phone, *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute. Each person wishing to address the council shall give his or her name for the record, and we ask that only one person speak at a time. It is a 5-minute time limit, and speakers are to direct all questions to the council president. All members of the public and council are expected to conduct themselves in a proper manner. Any derogatory, abusive, or threatening statements will not be permitted, and the council president will immediately rule such conduct out of order and terminate any further comments. Motion to open.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any hands up?
Why does Ricky have a hand up? WCTV, you have your hand up.
No one?
Maybe it's just a mistake.
Yeah,
Okay. That's two? I see two there. That's both the same person.
yeah, this is WCTV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that would like to come up?
Hmm.
You can come up.
That's actually pretty funny.
Michael Ullman. I was wondering when a reply is given to a citizen's inquiry, can that information be shared to the person who raised the inquiry? It seems like I had a question about the $80,000 access project, and I didn't believe that we were part of the Hunterton co-op. It seems Mr. DiCarlo has contradictory information. So I was just wondering, it seemed like there was some given back and forth with Mr. Ferrara, but I didn't hear anything. So I was just wondering what the process is to get that reply other than attending a meeting.
Okay, hang on one second. Do you want to tell them how to go about doing that?
My general practice, Mr. Ullman, is if you ask me a question in a council meeting, I respond to you at a council meeting. Mr. Farrar emailed me individually. When residents do that, I get back to them in that regard. But I did answer your question this evening.
Yes, I did hear your answer, which is prompting this question. So, okay, so I'll just open that.
So your question was, if you didn't come to this meeting, how would you have been notified of your answer? If you're not,
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, so it's publicly shared at the meeting. However, it sounds like there's other documents that were shared with the council. I was wondering how to get those. I mean, I know I can open them. I didn't know if they would be provided as part of the response. And Mr. DiCarlo explained that
Okay.
if you ask in a meeting, you'll get replied in a meeting. So that's clear. Does the administration examine the paving and the wear of paving before they go out and redo a bid? And the reason I ask is I live near Kennedy Avenue or Kennedy Boulevard, whatever. Drive? Okay. I don't live on, I know where I live. So, that's a very, it's a dead end. It's a low travel, lesser traveled street. And in walking down it, the pavement is not holding up. It's probably 6 years old, maybe 7. But, it's failing in a number of places. And just wondering, is that the expected life? And if it is, or we haven't even finished the first go around and things are already failing. So, is there an assessment before we rebid the same specs over and over, or do those specs change? So I do have that question. And then just prior to the meeting being officially convened, there was a discussion by the council people who were present about the dates or rescheduling a meeting or their availability. And I guess my only question is, the meeting wasn't in session. It wasn't being recorded. And it sounds very innocuous, a date, but it could have been something more important or of more interest to residents, and it goes completely unrecorded. So I would just ask that, before the meeting, that you not take care or have discussions on council business, because that negates the whole Public Meeting Act. So I would just like to bring that to your attention.
Appreciate that. I'll take responsibility because I actually brought the conversation up, but I knew that we were going to talk about it again publicly, but I do appreciate that. Noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want your answers? I think you still have some time. Do you want some answers to your questions?
Sure.
Okay. So first is, he stopped, right? Okay. First is, do we examine the repairs or is there an assessment done? I have a question on that too. Do we know how long they're supposed to really, is it the lifespan of a less traveled road? Do we know that? Or is that an answer we can get?
Unfortunately, I guess they've changed either the chemical makeup or the components that are being, the ingredients that are going into pavement now, and the expected life is only about 10 years.
Okay.
So I don't know the last time Kennedy Road has been resurfaced. And I'm pretty confident I can answer your question. I just kind of want to clarify your question, but I didn't know if you had any.
No, I was just thinking 10 years on a average roadway maybe, but this is a less paved than a dead end.
It's a dead end.
It's a good dead end.
I don't, do you know the last time the Kennedy was paved?
I was just looking, I think it says 2016 or maybe 17. It's on that, there's a paving
The map.
map.
Yeah.
So it's for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, we could certainly look into it if it's only 6 or 7 years old. I'm not sure if your question was how we decided the roads we were going to do this year, or is it
No,
more
so-
like
No,
how do
so,
we keep on top
Follow
of?
up on the work.
so it was done let's say 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a less traveled road. I mean, you're used to that crack down the middle where the two sides meet. But this is, if you think of it, that center crack is north and south. It's cracking east and west, so it's failing. It's failing around manhole covers. It's failing around sewers. So if it was done 7 years ago and it's failing already, and we're using that same spec over and over, can we expect things to fail again? Or do we inspect it? Does Boswell go out and say, we need to do a full mill, not a half mill or whatever the terms are? Or do we need to do it in, a thicker, macadam, a thicker layer? So I guess, just is there a current assessment done of prior work prior to going out to bid?
Yeah. I mean, specifically with Kennedy Road, I'll look into it. I'll see if I can find out those answers. This is going to be my first go around with the actual design and bid portion of the road programs as we go through it now. And, I imagine all those things are taken into consideration when the engineer is designing the road program specs. So, I'll see what
I
I
mean,
can
do
find
they
out.
just do a global replace on the street names and send it out, or do they, actually revisit it, I guess is the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I'll check into it.
That's it.
Is that
Is
it?
there anything else?
No. Do I have any more time?
No.
Okay.
All
Thank you.
right, thank you. And I just double checked. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say, you did announce it during the PSA that we were canceling that meeting due to whatever.
Conflict.
Conflict, and
Mhm.
thank you. And that it will be public because most likely an email will go out. So it will also be public. But once in a while, we do get an email saying, please let me know your availability. So just FYI.
And so then it was recorded for sure. Thank you. Okay. Would you like to come up?
Good evening, everyone. George Toole, and I have two questions and one statement. The question to the council and mayor, is there any update in regard to how the speeding is being handled on the side streets in town? I know it was brought up at prior council meetings. Does anybody have any correspondence with the police chief at all?
I will let Mr. DiCarlo answer that one.
Want me to answer that one? Sure. Yeah. I talk to the police chief on a regular basis because this is always a popular topic about speeding on all the streets, not just the side streets. Now that spring is here, they're trying to put the mobile sign out and the mobile speed sign to, remind people, hey, slow down, you're on a side road. There's only so much they can do though. And unfortunately, drivers just, they aren't paying attention, I'll say, and ignoring the speed limit. So they make a best effort to, it's always on their plate, but they can only put the sign on so many places at one time.
Okay. I was wondering if there possibly, if individuals were pulled over, maybe warnings could be issued instead of actual tickets that might irritate
Yes,
townspeople.
we try to do that, yes.
Okay. My second question, does a welcome packet exist when people move into town? In other words, something that we can give to residents? Do you know if anything like that
We
exists?
used to have one.
Yeah, and the welcome wagon usually goes out, that comes from the post office, but we used to get one. There used to be one in town, I don't think we do it anymore.
Okay, I just thought it would be a good idea to help people out, especially people that are looking for daycare or places of worship. And lastly, speaking of places of worship, Our Lady of Good Counsel this past Sunday honored Father Thomas Norton on his 60 years of ordination. And I'm happy to say that we had about 200 people come out, and I think everyone had a good time. And it was good to see that for the community, especially after COVID. So something happy to report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 60 years, that's incredible.
He baptized me and my sister.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Mhm. Yeah.
I'm not 60, but he baptized me.
Council President, may I respond to a question about the speeding?
Yes.
Mr. Toole, when I complained to the police chief, there was actually a squad car, I call it squad car from Jersey City, because I rode in back of many of them in my youth. But they actually parked in front of my house, and 20, 25 minutes of sporadic days, and it did make a difference. But what I did find amazing is I was watching one of the court procedures, because there was something that was on the agenda that I was interested at. And the amount of DWIs, careless driving that the police department has pulled over is amazing.
Wow.
Amazing what they're doing, So they're out there, and like the mayor said, they can't be everywhere, but I was surprised sitting in that court listening case after case after case. So good job to the police department on that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. That's disturbing.
Yes, it is.
All right. All right, if there's no one else, motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sorry.
Okay, we're going to move to ordinances. Adoption, second reading, ordinance number 23-06.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Okay. Resolution number 23-239, authorizing second reading and opening a public hearing for ordinance 23-06. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney,
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Is there anyone that would like to come up? No? Okay, motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 23-06 at second reading by title.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Sue, please.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Introduction, first reading, ordinance number 23-07, an ordinance under Chapter 87 of the Code of Township of Washington, setting forth the rate of compensation and manner of payment of employees for the year 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, so this is a motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 23-07 at first reading by title. Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Resolution number 23-240, authorizing publication of ordinance number 23-07 and scheduled public hearing. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Ordinance number 23-08, bond ordinance appropriating $1,400,000 and authorizing the issuance of $1,340,500 bonds or notes of the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Township of Washington in the County of Bergen, New Jersey. Motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 23-08 at first reading by title.
So moved.
Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes.
Between the cough.
Resolution number 20, that's going to come out later, really fast. Resolution number 23-241, authorizing publication of ordinance number 23-08 and scheduled public hearing. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Ordinance number 23-09, ordinance providing for the acquisition of vehicular equipment by the Township of Washington in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, and appropriating $80,000 therefore, constituting proceeds of obligations of the township heretofore issued.
So moved.
So motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 23-09 at first reading by title. Stacy moved. I'll second. Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yeah.
And you
You need
know,
a second.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I brought the whole bag of front lozenges.
All right, resolution number 23-242, authorizing publication of ordinance number 23-09 and scheduled public hearing. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Resolution consent agenda. The following items have been determined to have unanimous consent of council and will be enacted in one motion. Should any item require independent consideration, any council member may have such item removed from the consent agenda. Anyone would like anything removed or discussion?
No, thank you.
Okay. Resolution number 23-243. Resolution number 23-244. Resolution number 23-245. Resolution number 23-246. Resolution number 23-247. Resolution number 23-248. Resolution number 23-249. Resolution number 23-250. And resolution number 23-251. Motion to approve consent agenda.
So moved.
23-252 as well.
I don't have that one.
I don't have it
I
either.
don't have it either.
Jesus, come on. What did I do to you guys?
I don't know. Because it's Wednesday, that's why.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
It's the.
That's the one that was
capital.
emailed, yes, the one that was canceling.
Oh,
It's in our new printout.
Oh,
These are.
sorry, I didn't go through that
so
far.
here it is.
Yeah, we have it. I
Sorry, I
got you,
didn't look
Ms.
at them. Sorry.
Trustee.
Well, we're gonna keep it on your toes.
So the cancellation of general capital
Yeah,
fund,
just not out.
okay,
Thank you.
cancellation of general capital fund, 252.
I have to,
Here,
It's in our new,
in the new packet.
oh, the new
the new
one.
printout on the days.
Was it on the, was it out there though?
Yeah,
There you
Oh,
go.
but
Oh,
then I
was
don't have to.
yeah, it's out there.
Okay, it's
Okay,
out
no,
there.
no, no. So it's the new one that was sitting up here? Oh, here it is. Let me just look it over before I vote on anything.
Sure.
Real quick, please. I just need a minute.
This was just discussed during the budget, just FYI.
Okay. I just need to know what I'm voting on.
Yeah.
All right,
I
so
just thought I'd
can I
mention
add
that.
that to this?
We did discuss
resolution?
It was out there.
It was. It was out there, because it was up here. It was out there for sure, right?
Mhm, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't really on the agenda, so what I'd rather do is.
Yes, it
Yes.
was.
It's on the
Oh,
agenda.
on the
okay,
agenda.
all right, okay, oh, okay.
It's not on-
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry, it was on, okay, yeah.
Okay. Resolution number
Yeah.
23-252. Okay, so motion to approve consent agenda resolutions?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call, Sue?
Councilwoman Feeney?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President Morgan?
Yes. Okay. And adjournment to conference agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Current business, we're gonna go to facility use fees. Mr. DeCarlo?
Actually, if it's okay, I'll start off on this one and then turn it over to Mark.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been outstanding for a while. I take responsibility for it. There was just delays in getting information from other towns to see what they're charging these days and the different classes that they use, because we want to be in line with as many other of our surrounding towns as possible. So about 2 weeks ago, Mark, myself, and Dan Scuderi, yeah, sorry, had a couple meetings, and we came up with the revisions or suggested revisions to the classes and the fees that we charge for use of facilities.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Hang
That's
on.
okay, no worries.
I'm sorry. You guys find it?
I'm sorry.
Did you find it?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
Sue's getting a lot of feedback.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I was looking for something that I bought, and now I always shuffle it, and I always lose it.
I didn't see that, you're on your own.
Okay, I'm so sorry. She's been here. Please.
I can't help you on that one.
Tough crowd tonight.
I can't help you with that one.
Please start over.
I'd be happy to.
Apologies, Mayor.
No worries, no worries. So as I said, this has been outstanding for quite some time. We wanted to make sure that we got input from other towns to see how they align their classes of organizations to use the fields and the fee structure charged by them. So within the past 2 weeks, myself, Mark, and Dan Scuderi met, reviewed what other towns are doing, and came up with the thing in, the proposed.
It's only been an hour.
Right, I know, yeah. The proposed facility use fees and the changes to the classes. So obviously, we'd just like council to review it, come back to us with any feedback, and, we'll now stay on this to make the necessary changes to the ordinance and working with the council. So not expecting any action tonight on your behalf.
Okay. Thank you. And then we have under financials, review of RFQs. Huh?
Ordinances and legislation, but you want to do that?
Well,
We don't have anything.
Well, we have ordinances, legislations, just generally, so
Oh,
I wanted to talk about it. I mean, there's nothing to introduce, but I'd just like to talk about it,
oh, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
Your name, there was no initial next to it, so I thought there was nothing. But by all means,
So,
talk.
all right, so I'm working on the two possible ordinances that I was asked to look into. One was whether it's proper and can it be done that the tree vendor who takes down trees more than what's authorized by a permit or a planning board resolution, whether the vendor as well as the homeowner can be held responsible, okay, which is a good point. And I gave it some thought. I did get the application for the tree removal permit. And actually, did a little further, I found out that basically when the planning board gives its approval, the developer apparently takes down the trees according to the resolution passed by the planning board, but there's never a permit, which is kind of unusual. I think that really is not a good practice, because just like a soil movement, there's a permit that's issued, and the permit would be the trigger for at least putting everybody on notice that something is being done, as opposed to a resolution, because you never know when a developer is going to come in or a tree vendor taking the tree down.
Right.
In addition, when I look at the application itself, I was thinking of how to work this thing. I don't really think that you can get the tree vendor to be responsible when he hasn't signed anything, when he's being told to take down trees by the homeowner, okay, when he's being shown a planning board resolution. So I think the way that I would approach that is I think that I would change our tree removal permit application to require it to be signed by the owner and the tree removal company. I think that the application should include, if there's an approval of trees, that should be part of the application, so that the tree vendor who's taking down the trees knows what it is and it's part of his application. And he's going to certify that that's all that he's taking down, okay? And a few other things as I kind of thought about it. I talked to the engineer about it. He thought the ideas were good. I also talked to the code official, and he thought it was good. So that's what I'm going to try and work on. If that's,
That sounds like a good plan.
because I think it's a good idea.
It closes
Also,
that gray area.
closes the gray area, and also puts the extra protection on this planning board, because that's what happens. I mean, the planning board gives the approval, and all of a sudden, this tree's taken down, and everyone's looking around as to what there was. If you have the owner and the tree vendor signing, and he's getting the actual document of what to take down, then you would have the basis to change our ordinance and make both of them responsible.
So
Now,
would it would be the deeded owner to the
It would
property?
be the deeded owner of the property and the vendor.
now, when they do come for a major project, they do give a landscaper's plan.
Right.
And on the landscaper's plan, the trees that are coming down are marked.
Right.
And,
But I still think there should be a permit.
oh, no, I agree with you
Yeah,
100%,
yeah, okay,
because
Right.
I think the contractor needs to be held responsible
Right.
for previous things that we've seen, and I agree with you 100%.
So it's just changing
Let's
the
close that
application.
gray area.
So I'm gonna go through the application.
Okay.
I'm gonna come up with an ordinance. Like I said, I was working with, I did clear this with the engineer and with the planning board engineer and the code official. So that's one of the things that I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Is this how it goes down in the other towns that you were looking at?
I'll tell you the truth, I don't know that the other towns hold the tree vendor responsible for the trees. But we have experienced a fair amount of this. We have a couple that are in town right now. We have a couple of developments coming up where, you know,
Having some foresight is helpful.
exactly. I mean, you know, we just don't want to have that.
You don't want to hear
That's a big-
domino.
We got some big sites in town, and we want to do everything we can to make sure the trees are preserved and only the correct trees come down.
I wouldn't be surprised if other towns now start doing that,
Yeah.
as
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we kind of pioneered that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
great, I like it.
If I may, Council President, I can tell you, since we did start this tree ordinance, the residents have called, not only myself, but the code official, on vendors that are coming in and taking trees down. And I'm telling you, I've never seen our code official running around so much about trees, but he is doing a great job. And I want to thank the residents for calling too.
Okay.
That's great.
All right, second one that I'm working on was, I was also asked to look into the possibility of requiring a dumpster to be obtained and put on site for work that's done in town, construction work. Now, I did have a long discussion with the code official on this one because I basically said, look, you can't have a requirement that every time a homeowner takes out a permit that he has a dumpster requirement because it's not appropriate, it's also expensive, and there's gonna be an outcry, and there's really no reason for it. So I said that if we want to do something like that, we need some parameters, whether it's a percentage of demolition as one of the criteria, whether it's the kind of work that's being done. I don't think you could put a dollar figure on it because you can do a lot of renovation it's a certain amount of renovation costs a lot of money, but it doesn't involve all that much in terms of material being put to the dumpster. So I asked the code official to work up a schedule of criteria for me. And then once he has that, then I'll bring it back but I think we gotta go slow on.
Right.
Yeah, because there's plenty of people who have the ability to haul it away without a dumpster
Exactly.
intermittently,
Yeah,
and that,
exactly, yeah.
I believe this came about where somebody was gutting their house and just threw everything in the yard, on the side of the yard, on the front, and that created a problem.
But isn't that a little, I mean, there's a lot of people who are doing work and they have contractors, and contractors have dump trucks, so they have their own disposal methods. I think maybe, if not just parameters, but it has to be set, maybe there needs to be a question added to the application instead, saying means of disposal of debris or demolition material, instead of requiring an expense, like you're
I agree.
saying, of a dumpster or something. I think that means of disposal, if it's on the application, they have to adhere to the means of disposal.
right,
Yeah.
like if they say can haul away, whatever.
We'll be hauling away in our own trucks, or we'll be
Right.
obtaining
I agree
a
with that.
dumpster.
I actually went over this with the code official.
Yeah.
I said to him, this is really almost a prescription for disaster.
Sure, we want
You
people
know,
to be able to
you
improve
can't
their
really
homes.
do that.
It's
It really
over
should,
governing.
it's over.
It's over
Yeah.
government.
I agree, okay.
Just if we put
I
it
just
on
didn't want to,
there,
I just didn't want to let it slide because I was asked to look into it, so.
but if we
But
put
I,
it,
yeah.
if we
yeah.
put it on there and then they don't adhere to what they're telling us, then we have recourse, because we have it in writing,
Mhm.
right? Because
Well, it depends on,
I mean, recourse.
What you write
listen,
in,
You
what
said you
you
were gonna
write
use your
down.
truck,
Right,
what happened,
right,
did your
right,
trucks break
right,
down, or
right.
like, why are you using black
Because
bags?
sometimes contractors that'll be part of their deal, like to sweeten it. That way the homeowner doesn't have to worry about, a truck or
Yeah,
disposing of any of their contracting material. So I
I'll
agree.
get back to you on it,
okay,
just to give you an idea, it's, under consideration.
all right, thank you. All right, moving on to financials. Review for RFQ submissions for auditor. So I'd like to table this until we have a full council, so we don't run into the same issue we had the last time we tried to do this. So when, in July, if we could look at this, if everyone's okay with that?
Well, I mean, we could have the vote, right?
I mean, we could, but
Just, I mean, if it doesn't pass, it doesn't pass, right? It
we,
wasn't here last time, it wasn't tabled,
well, we did wind up tabling it because it was just,
yeah, but I thought it didn't pass.
yeah, it didn't pass either way.
Yeah,
We were
I'd
two
like
and
to-
two and
we
two
did
and
have
two.
two votes, we had
Yeah,
two votes,
yeah.
we did have two votes.
All right, so I mean, it doesn't matter, it's up to you guys. I would like to table it. If it's something so pressing that we have to do it now, when do we have until?
No, but if somebody misses again, are we gonna table it again?
Yeah, I think it's an important enough thing that we've learned from what we did last time. It doesn't work if we're not all here. So I think if we have the ability to table some things and we don't have a full council, we should have respect to wait. If
No,
it's
I'm gonna
not
make a
pressing.
motion, I'm gonna make a motion to take a vote on it since Since we voted last time, I think we could try.
Okay.
Anybody want a second?
Well, I think what you do is you make a motion to appoint somebody, not to move ahead with it,
Oh, sorry.
right?
Right, right, yeah, because it's already there, yeah.
It's already there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to, hold on, I'm just getting my notes. I'll make a motion to appoint it's LVB.
Who?
Lord Vinci, and I
Oh, I
don't
couldn't hear you
remember the
from down here.
last name, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Bless, thank you very much.
I'll second it.
Okay, so Sue, roll call.
Councilwoman Feeney,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez,
Yes.
Council President Morgan.
I was the one who said we needed a new set of eyes, so no. Okay. All right. And then we're going to move to miscellaneous. Hazardous condition of new traffic pattern, Pascack Road and Washington Ave. That's Councilman Sears.
Thank you, Council President.
You are welcome.
I know Mr. Carlo sent some letters out and something from Boswell Engineering sent something out. So let me just make my speech here. And I'm not talking about driving a fire truck. I'm talking about the conditions that I have witnessed at that intersection, which I think, in my opinion, was poorly planned out, either by the county or our town engineer or whoever is involved. So here's three issues. The first issue is no right-hand turn.
Which direction? Sorry.
I think all
I'm sorry, Bob?
before, right?
I have three issues, I said. The first one is no right-hand turn at the intersection.
No, I know, I meant, did you mean a certain direction in the intersection or all of them?
All of them.
Oh, all
All
of
of
them,
them,
okay.
all of them, you know, not just I did in general. All right. Now, I remember way back when, the reason why we put right-hand turns in is to save fuel, keep traffic moving, and to reduce carbon monoxide in our community. By allowing no right-hand turns, we just increased our carbon monoxide 8 times because we have the intersections there. So you have 3 lanes sitting idle, waiting for a light to change, and then everybody moves in whatever direction they're going. So no right-hand turn does not benefit this community health-wise, number one. Number two, there might be certain times when you can't make a right-hand turn, but 95% of the time, you can make a right-hand turn at any of that intersections without a problem. So I don't understand why the county and our town engineer, which I wouldn't put my name to it, stated that, and I know the mayor was involved with this also, not to have right-hand turns, knowing that we have an adult new assisted living going in there, then maybe they can deal with the carbon monoxide. But as part of the green team, I think you just increase the amount of pollution coming into the township, sitting idle at those 4 intersections. The second problem I see is you have 3 lanes going east to west, north to south. When I went back, way back when they were talking about the intersection, it was a right-hand turn, a straight lane, and a left-hand turn. Now we have a left-hand turn, a straight in the center, and then the right lane is a straight and right-hand turn. So if you are at Seasons going east towards the firehouse, when the light changes, you now have 2 lanes, the center and the right lane, racing up until 100 and some odd feet, when all of a sudden, the right-hand turn realizes I can't go anywhere. Now they're pushing people in the center lane, trying to cut in and get off. I don't know how that was designed, but I can tell you, I think a high school student could probably come and give us a better plan at that intersection than having those many cars screeching, cutting people off and going forward. And it's the same thing the other way too.
So Councilman Sayers, I will tell you, I've received several phone calls where people who are at the where they're at the light, at the X on the right, they're saying there is a lot of racing going on from the light going forward across Pascack. Could it be, and I saw you had it on the meeting tonight, so I didn't send an email, but could we maybe make the recommendation for the traffic officer to look to see if they could change that to a right turn only straight?
It should have been a right turn, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So all you're doing is allowing 6 cars, because I counted them, 6 more cars to race through that intersection. And then all of a sudden you got 8 cars backing up in the right-hand lane, trying to get over in the center lane. That is, to my opinion, is poor planning, but I didn't design it. And the last thing I have on this is the turn radius. And I'm not talking as a emergency service person that drives a truck, but how can you possibly have 3 lanes all in the same center? And I witnessed not emergency vehicles, I witnessed box trucks, cars, people. When you make that left-hand turn, now you're going west, and you're making a left-hand turn to get on Pascack Road, the left-hand lane is right up next to the straight lane. Everybody is cutting across that lane constantly. I have witnessed trucks that went to make a turn and physically had to stop and watch people back up so he can get around that.
So maybe shorten that depth from this.
Well, a smart person would have drove down to Ridgewood Avenue in Pascack, and they would have saw that whoever put that intersection in, it's a full car length back to make a left-hand turn. Now you have your turning radius without having people trying to back into each other, because nobody stops at the white line. You know that, and I know that.
Mm-hmm.
So when they make the turn, they have a clear turning path. And that's my speech about that. And I know the engineer and Mr. DiCarlo and the mayor, they were all involved with this, but something has to be done. And completely off the record, talking to several of our emergency service officers, there's going to be some accidents there.
Yeah.
May I make a comment?
Sure.
So of your 3 points, I would say I strongly agree with your 3rd point. I have been on that left turn lane going north on Pascack, and the cars coming from Washington making the left do come very close. So I think it's just a striping, correction.
All you have to do is back it 1 car length, and now you have your turn radius.
So I have personally experienced that where the car I was like, whoa, that's close. So of your 3, I would tend to agree the most with number 3. So I'm glad you did put that on.
I know those
today.
are county roads, but we have, and Councilman Sears had mentioned having the traffic officer take a look at it. Is that something they'd be open to, like collaboration and feedback from the town, even though it's county roads?
I believe we can. I would like to start obviously with the county engineer, Nancy Dargis, that had a direct, involvement in designing that intersection with that right turn lane. As council hopefully saw my email on June 6th addressed 2 of the 3 concerns. They're very amendable to seeing what we can do with the turn radius problem on Pascack Road. It's just going to involve, some organizing and scheduling to shut down the intersection, utilize the assistance of the fire department with their biggest truck, and then marking the radius with the township engineers and road inspectors. So I don't foresee it being a problem to hopefully get something done, but unfortunately there's a formality to doing so. We can't just move the stop line back, a car length. I wish it would be that easy. And then obviously the suggestion with the no turn, right turn on red, obviously I know there's an environmental concern, but there's also a safety with the pedestrian concern because there is 4 left turn lanes and all the pedestrian movements and the bus stop locations all in that intersection, there's a lot going on. So they had a strong recommendation for those signs to remain no turn on red. And as you know, I think all of our intersections in town with the traffic light are marked no turn on red, or at least good 80% of it. I know Manhattan at Pascack is marked no turn on red. Ridgewood on Pascack is marked no turn on red. So
Well, for years, that wasn't a problem. Now we foresee a problem.
I mean,
I'm going to take the recommendation of the county engineer and township engineer when it comes to safety. So I would tend to agree, especially with my experience as police chief. I think it's very important that there probably remains no turn on red there. But I understand your concerns. We haven't received any complaints of cars backing up at this time or causing any type of traffic yet that I'm aware of.
could there potentially be a time frame where it's no turn on red when it's the busiest versus in the evening?
Like
Where-
7:30 to 4:30,
I
like they
mean-
do for school.
Right.
You see it everywhere in communities, no left turn between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. or from 3 to 4 p.m. I mean, the idea to have 8 times the amount of carbon monoxide at those intersections is ridiculous. And now you also have traffic also backing up in that left lane on Pascack, waiting to make the turn. So I don't know what you accomplished by not making a right-hand turn as a safety factor. You have to prove to me it's safety, because I don't see it at all.
The bus stop.
And I pass that intersection 20 times a day.
Council President, may I make a comment?
Yes.
Thank you. My comment is strictly from a lay perspective. I don't design roads, I don't know safety. But the one thing I've noticed is, and I'll use for example, if you're coming south on Pascack and then making a left onto Washington, you have a green light to make that left. If you give the people coming north the okay to make a right on red, while that green light is up, you're potentially having 2 cars, one coming southbound and one coming northbound, if they can make a turn on red also. So I see that as a potential problem for accidents. And they did want to, one of the things they wanted to accomplish is to make the intersection much more safe than the old one. The old one was not friendly to pedestrians at all. So now they've made it more pedestrian. So again, I have to agree with Mark and the county and our own engineer on that one, that from a safety perspective, I wouldn't be in favor of removing the no right-hand turn. But we will certainly run all 3 of your things past the county and town engineer and see, what input we get from them.
That's all I could ask.
Yep, that's all we can do.
The smoke is getting to us.
I know, everyone up here. All right. Is there anything else anyone on the dais wants to discuss on this issue? If not, no? Okay, if not, we're going to adjourn. So motion to adjourn.
So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's
Of
the
course, I
smoke
call for the
that's-
lump.